measuring area and volume. Okay, in a previous video we talked about measuring length and conversions between different lengths. Here our objective, we want to use proportions to convert between units of area and capacity, how much something holds. Okay, reminding ourselves what we know. We know what a proportion is, an equation that shows that two fractions or ratios are equal. And we know that if we have a proportion, their cross products are equal, and that is extremely useful. And we can do this right here. We talk about how proportions are useful because we can solve for an unknown in one of those two ratios. All right, common units in both the English system and the metric system for measuring area and for measuring capacity. In the English system, our base unit is a square foot. Okay. When we get smaller, we talk about square inches. So if we want to measure, for example, the surface of a book, we're talking square inches. If we want to get larger, we talk about acres. You've probably seen that a lot with the size of property, or sometimes square miles, the size of a city, for example. The metric system, okay, the metric system, the base unit again is a square meter. Okay, and then if you go smaller, you'll have square centimeters, and you might get into square millimeters. Oh, that's really small, but square centimeters is probably the more popular. And if you want to go larger, then they get into square kilometers. Again, measuring, for example, the area that a city sits on, an area of surface, an area of the planet that the city sits on. When we get into measuring capacity, the base unit for the English system is the cup. Okay. When you want to go smaller, you go to ounces. There are 8 ounces in a cup. And when you want to go larger, we generally go to gallons. Okay. That's generally our largest unit. The amount a pool holds, 54,000 gallons, for example, but that tends to be our largest. Now, of course, in here we have pints and quarts, but these tend to be the main basic units and the smallest and the largest that we use in the English system. In the metric system, again, keep it kind of simple. The base unit's the liter. When you go smaller, not a lot of centiliter out there. Normally smaller for the metric system is the milliliter, 1,000th of a liter. And when you want to go larger, we go really large to the kiloliter, which is 1,000 liters, which is significantly larger than the gallon for the metric system. Okay, let's put this to use with our proportions to do some unit conversion. Example 1 here. There are 84 million acres of national parkland in the United States. Don't know if you knew that or not. We have a lot of acres of national parkland, which is pretty great. How large is this in square miles? And we're told that 1 square mile is the same as 640 acres. Okay, again, we have a known relationship. 1 square mile is equivalent to 640 acres, and I'll abbreviate that with an AC. Okay, but we want to convert 84 million acres to square miles. So we have an unknown ratio in which we know the number of acres. Well, I wrote in this ratio, I have acres in the denominator. So I'm going to put my acres in the denominator in this ratio, in my unknown ratio. And I want to know how many square miles is that. Again, lining up my units. I have a proportion. 1 fraction equals another fraction. So I can do cross products, multiply and divide. And if I do the math, I come up with 131,250 square miles. Okay, so 84,000 acres is equivalent to 131,250 square miles. Okay, let's take a look at a couple more examples. Give me a moment to switch my paper. Alrighty, just a second. Okay, make sure I'm kind of sort of. Let's just straighten this out a little bit. Make sure that you can read what I've got here. I always find myself trying to make sure I've set up my paper on my iPhone video correctly. Okay, so a pool has a volume of 10,000 cubic feet. That's a new unit for us, cubic feet, but that's okay. We can still do the conversion. How many gallons of this should be the word water, not the word what. Let's put the word water here. How many gallons of water does the pool hold? And we're told a known ratio, a known relationship is that 1 cubic foot is equivalent to 7.48 gallons. All right, so again, I have a known relationship, I have a known ratio. 1 cubic foot is equivalent to 7.48 gallons. That's my known relationship. And I have an unknown relationship, unknown because I don't know one part of it. I know I have 10,000 cubic feet. Well, in my known, I have cubic feet in the numerator. So I want to make sure I line up my units. So there's 10,000 cubic feet. And I want to know how many gallons is that. Again, notice my units are lined up. Okay, I have a proportion. I can use cross products. And I come up with, when I do the math, 74,800 gallons. Okay, so 10,000 cubic feet is equivalent to 74,800 gallons. All right, a last example here. Kind of a two-parter a little bit. A physician, orders 20 cubic centimeters of an antibiotic to be administered. A, how many milliliters is this? And we're told that 1 cubic centimeter is equal to 1 milliliter. And B, how many fluid ounces is this? And we're told that 1 fluid ounce is 30 milliliters. Well, let's do part A first. And again, I have a known relationship. And that known relationship is that 1 cubic centimeter is the same. It's related to 1 milliliter. Okay, and I have an unknown relationship. Well, I want to convert 20 cubic centimeters to milliliters. In my known ratio, my cubic centimeters is in my numerator. So I'll continue to do that, put my cubic centimeters in my numerator, and I don't know how many milliliters is this. Now you can probably look at this one pretty quickly. If 1 goes to 1, then 20 goes to 20. Or of course it's a proportion, and you can always do the cross products. The answer will be the same, 20 milliliters. Okay, and letter B, well, how many fluid ounces is this? And we're given a relationship, a conversion factor, that 1 fluid ounce is 30 milliliters. Well, that's going to take advantage of this answer here. Okay, so my known relationship is 1 fluid ounce is equivalent to 30 milliliters. Okay, well, how many fluid ounces is this? Well, I know that what I have is 20 milliliter, so I want to line up my units, and I want to know how many fluid ounces it is. So there's my proportion. Okay, once I have a proportion, the cross products are equal. I'll cross multiply and divide, and I come up with, it is 0.67 of a fluid ounce, a little less than 1 fluid ounce, and that makes sense. If 1 fluid ounce is 30 milliliters, then less than 1 fluid ounce is equal to 20 milliliters because 20 is less than 30, so this number should be less than 1. So there you have it. Some work with converting units of area and volume.